Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm up close and personal so you guys can see what I've got going on. As you can see, things aren't looking too good on my face. A little bit here on my chest, here. So this is nothing, clean face. Just took a shower and I'm gonna do my makeup and I'm gonna attempt to cover this crap. So if you're wondering what the hell happened, I will explain. Don't try this at home. So the other night I was making popcorn for my son, and I like to make popcorn on the stove top, and so we were about to watch a movie. I was making the popcorn. I had the popcorn in a pot, and I was covered the pot with foil so I could pop the popcorn, and next to that pot I had a smaller pot with melting some butter for the popcorn. And all of a sudden I go and the butter is like bubbling and sizzling and everything, and I go to kind of swirl it and I lean forward, and I don't know how this happened because I've never had this happen before, but the butter fucking exploded and it like shot up from the pot up into my face, hit me in the chest, hit me smack dab on the forehead, a few drops here. I was on fire. I was freaking out. I was screaming. I was losing my mind, not only because I just got like sprayed in the face with hot oil butter, but it was my face. And I was like, holy shit. I mean, everything was red. Like my entire forehead was bright red. It was red. My chest was like this whole, like it was all red, right? Like, because I think your skin just automatically, when you get burned, a lot more of it like reacts immediately, not just the area that's burned. So luckily it wasn't as bad as I thought. However, I've got some issues going on, and what it's also done is it's made me even drier. So moisture. It's the first thing I did after I realized, like, I was debating whether or not I was gonna go to the hospital because I wasn't sure what kind of burns I had. But then, you know, after I was icing it and cleansed my face and my skin and everything, and I like went on Google and I checked it out, and they said if things start blistering, that's when you got a problem. And right, and all I was really dealing with was a lot of redness. So moisture. I just like slathered my face with moisturizer to keep it hydrated, and yeah. So now this is probably the most severe area of my burn, and it's kind of like peeling and flaking, and it feels very dry. And then this one here, this one did actually blister, so I don't know, but we're gonna attempt to fix it today. So got my setup here again by the window, dealing with natural light. Hopefully this will help us, and I'm gonna play with some stuff, some products, some different things to kind of help moisturize, and we're gonna do a little bit more full coverage today because we got to go a little bit more full coverage. So one thing that I had was like, I've got a bunch of samples of different things. So that's the other thing I'm going to try to do with this look, is try to keep it very hydrating. So even though I'm going to go more full coverage, I definitely want to make sure I hydrate really well. So let me figure out what the hell I'm doing. Okay, one of the first things I've got here, so I've got one of these left. So these are these little capsules, these CERAMIDE capsules, Daily Youth Restoring Eye Serum, and you're supposed to apply it before you do the rest of your makeup. And they just look like this. They're like these tiny little like capsules filled with like a serum. And I find that there's enough in here that you can kind of like, I mean, I concentrated under my eyes, but there's enough in it that you can kind of like move it everywhere. So you kind of just twist it off, and then it kind of like comes out really quickly. It's like really slippery. But basically I just rub it between my fingers, and I'll use it under my eyes, mostly around my eyes. But I am going to kind of take it up into like my dry areas because I find it really, really hydrating, and so that's just going to help. This is before we apply moisturizer, because we're still going to apply moisturizer because we're dealing with a lot of dryness today. So yeah. And since we're going more full coverage, we're going to need to have a lot of moisture to kind of help with that. You guys can see that. This one doesn't hurt as bad, but it still was really painful at the time. Anyway, what am I doing next? Okay, so instead of using my normal moisturizer, I'm gonna go in with this. This is another sample that I have. It's the Sensitive Skin. It's the Vichy. Let me take it out. It's all in French, I know. But this is the Radiance Boosting Serum for all skin types. Let's try it out. I might still go in with my regular moisturizer afterward. It depends on how this is feeling. Oh, it's a serum again. Okay, let's just try it. Anything I can do right now to hydrate, I will do. It feels really nice, silky, but not greasy. That's the main thing. Like, you want it to be hydrating without feeling greasy. And I think we've achieved that. But it's still not enough. I think I might still go in with my normal moisturizer. And then we'll be ready to move on from there. So my go-to that I use all the time is the Nourishing Day Care by Nivea, and I really like this moisturizer. So I'm going to apply this, and then hopefully we'll be hydrated enough to carry on with whatever I think I'm going to do today. We'll see. Oh yeah, that feels good. Whew. My skin is just like screaming for moisture right now. And hopefully, well, this is gonna be the big problem area. Like, I'm not used to trying to cover blemishes, so I don't really have makeup for it. So this is gonna be the test. This is gonna be, we're gonna see how this works. So let me figure out my next step, and I'll be back. Okay, so now that we've moisturized, I kind of let it kind of sink in for a bit, and now I'm gonna prime, and I'm gonna use the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer because I really like it, and it helps the foundation stay really smooth. Going in with about that much, right between my fingers, and apply it everywhere. Smooth everything out. It really helps mattify, which is really good. And just make everything really smooth. So okay, so we're gonna go with foundation today. This probably needs to sit for a minute too, but they'll be fine. This is the one that I use all the time, and it's my Maybelline Dream Liquid Mousse in the shade 40 Nude. I find it's a pretty good match for me. It is not really a full coverage foundation. It's probably more like a medium. I guess you can build it up. I tend to never do that because I don't really wear full coverage, but I'm probably gonna have to do that in certain areas so we can cover some of this. So this isn't feeling quite as dry anymore. This is good. I mean, it's still dry and it's obviously, you know, flaking or whatever. But what I'm gonna do with this one is I'm gonna mix it with, why is nothing where I want it to be when I need it? I hate this. That's what happens when you do your makeup somewhere where you don't normally do your makeup, because you want to be able to see properly. Okay, so I'm actually going to mix it with, I bought this the other day. It's the Born to Glow Liquid Illuminator by NYX. One of my subscribers, actually, Hannah, she left this in the comments of that video about mixing it in with some foundation, and she really liked to do that. And I had thought about that as well. I'd done that before with a few different, well, no, I hadn't done it with foundation, but I did it with moisturizer. I had like a more illuminating moisturizer. I mix them together and it kind of gives you kind of a glow. So I'm gonna go in with about that much. I'm going to add like that much of the illuminator and just kind of like rub it in and apply. And I did this when I went to work the other day and I really liked it as well. It kind of really just helped kind of give you kind of like just a really subtle glow with your foundation underneath. You guys are probably gonna be like, why does she apply her foundation like that? I don't know, it's just what I do. So, this is weird, I know. But I'm weird and I apply things weird. I want to spray down my my beauty blender. If I didn't bring my beauty blender out here, I'm screwed. Okay. So I didn't. Let me rub this in a little bit better, and then I'll go run and grab my beauty blender. Guess we're gonna be mixing this in with our fingers, people. This is what happens when you come to someone's channel and they're unprepared. I apologize, but let me go get it real quick. Okay, so I sprayed this down a bit with my NYX finishing spray, and I'm just gonna go in, and I might go in with a little bit more after I blend this all in, so that we might need a little bit more coverage. We'll see. Because as you can see, you can still see it. But I have a feeling that we're still gonna be able to see it at the end, because you can cover with foundation, but you can't really hide texture. And that's what this burn has kind of left me with, is like raised texture. And yeah, so I mean, it's looking good everywhere else, but I do think we need to go in with a little bit more. So it's not perfect. It probably won't be, but I'm gonna put a little bit on my chest. Didn't really work. Oh well. Okay. So, not bad. I still feel really moisturized and hydrated, which is good. I'll probably go in with a little concealer over the problem areas. But I really like this foundation because, like I said, normally it just really blends in with my skin really well, and I don't ever really look like I'm wearing foundation when I'm wearing it. But I don't know. I almost think we should try this again. We should go in again and build this up. Like I said, I'm gonna do more of a full coverage look today. So let's see if we can do that. I'm gonna go in again with a couple pumps and maybe a little bit more of the illuminator as well. Like that. And now we'll see. We'll see if this works. It's not bad. Like I said, it does feel hydrating, which I really like. Concealer. I'm going to use my Instant Age Rewind today. This is in the shade Light. And yeah, let's put some of this on. So I almost feel like I've like completely like covered all the foundation with my concealer now. I just find like whenever I blend, like the more I blend, the more it kind of like pokes through, which kind of is irritating. All right, so now I look super pale. However, I can still see it. It sucks. I actually look more pale on camera than I do in real life, but we are gonna fix that as well. Well, to set my under eye, I'm gonna use my NYX Stay Matte Not Flat, but in the shade Nude, which is just a touch too light for my skin, but it works for my under eye, and I'm gonna go in with another shade of the Stay Matte Not Flat powder to set everywhere else. So we'll just do the under eye first. The rest of my face, I'm going to use, again, the Stay Matte Not Flat, but I'm going to use it in the shade Medium Beige, just because it's a little bit more, it's a little deeper, and it will just give my skin a little bit more color again, because the nude shade is just a touch too light. So this is the Medium Beige. It's a new one, and that's the color. So we're just gonna go in and set the rest of my face. This is feeling very full coverage, you guys, which, like I said, normally I'm not into, but if we can make this like still look dewy and hydrated, I'll be happy, because I don't like it when my face looks super matte, because like I said, I have dry skin, so I just find it just doesn't, I don't know. It might look good on camera though, which is maybe a good thing for filming and stuff. So I feel super pale. Okay, let's contour a little bit. Should we contour? Or we'll do the eyes? Maybe we'll do the eyes first. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do my eyebrows so I don't feel so like this, and then we'll do shadow. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have noticed before, but I just want to point something out to you. This eyebrow kind of starts a little bit further in than this eyebrow, and this eyebrow is like a little lower down. So when I do my eyebrows, I like to kind of correct that a little bit. So I'm gonna start on this one, and I'm gonna kind of like come in a little bit further, and then kind of mirror that on this side a little bit to kind of even them out. So hopefully I can do that. perfect, obviously, but better. Probably one of the tips that I would give when it comes to doing your eyebrows is short strokes are better. Like, you know, even if it takes you a little longer, like shorter strokes, just kind of like filling in as opposed to like drawing, because then you'll get something that looks like you draw on your eyebrows, right? So yeah, I don't know, just a tip. Okay, so for my eyes, I'm gonna work with this these cream shadows. This is the Infallible Paints by L'Oreal. This is in the shade Brown Sugar, and it's like a taupe kind of a lighter brown shade here and like a deep chocolate brown here. I'm gonna play with this or we'll see what happens. I have worn it a couple times already, and it just takes some time. Lots of blending and a lot of cleanup involved afterward because your fingers get all messed up. But anyway, let's go. I'm gonna start off with the lighter shade and just kind of like paint it all over my lids and then blend it in, and we'll go from there. Like super quick, but it does dry down, and then it won't really move around or crease up too bad, which is nice. So this is the lightest shade. It's a lot easier to work with, obviously, but I just kind of like use that as a base, and then I'm going to go in with the darker shade, with the dark chocolate brown, and I'm going to kind of focus it more kind of like on the outer V, as they call it, and blend inward. So yeah. I'm not done yet, but one thing to keep in mind when you're doing this, I don't know if this is what the professionals would recommend, but I find when I'm blending, like I start with one finger, and then because I wanted the color to kind of like fade in and go lighter, as I went to the center, I moved in with another finger to keep going, so that you can kind of distribute the product a little bit lighter towards the center, and again, it dries down pretty quickly. So now we got this one done, we'll do this one. Shadows is that, like I said, they dry down pretty quick, and as long as you're careful with your blending, you can usually get it pretty. I mean, it's not perfect, but I'm still going to go in and fix it a little bit more, and maybe go in with some more with the other color, but now I'm going to do some cleanup. Okay, so now that I've got the initial kind of color down, I'm just going to go in with this and kind of it's just a clean blending brush, and just lightly like buff it out. I mean, it's pretty much dry now, but I would just want to blend the color as best I can. It's hard to like really blend it once it's dry, so you really want to get most of like the blending done when it's still wet. But I'm surprised actually at how easy they are to work with, because my issue has always been when I try to do like a smoky eye, I find that I end up going higher and higher and higher sometimes, and I don't want to. Like, I want to concentrate most of, for myself anyway, most of the color on my lids. And I find, like, when I use a normal shadow sometimes, in order to blend it out, you start going higher and higher and higher, and I don't, that's what I don't want. Like, I don't want to take the smoke up onto my brow bones, right? So I find that the cream kind of works really well like that. And what I'm going to attempt to do today, and hopefully it doesn't mess up, is I'm actually going to attempt to take the color on my lower lash line a little bit as well. Let's see how that works. So I think first I'm going to try it with the lighter shade. The same brush and just kind of like buff it out a little bit. And the nice thing about these cream shadows too is, of course, you don't really have to worry about fallout because it's a cream. So that's kind of nice. So I don't know. I'm kind of liking it, you guys. I'm going to just deepen up the lash line just a bit more with the color. It's because I'm seeing it's like a little, just to kind of like work sort of like a liner, but because I'm not going to use a liner today, but just this dark shade. So and the other nice thing about the cream shadows like this is that they don't dry clumpy. So if you get it in your eyelashes, it's not a big deal because it won't dry, it won't clump up and make it hard to apply mascara. It literally dries to like a powdery finish, so you don't have to worry about that. So going in with this again. Yeah, like zero fallout. It's crazy. I really like that. I don't know if you can see here, but it almost looks like some of the lighter shade kind of so if you're, yeah, like, I mean, it's kind of nice because it's kind of like I said, it's totally dried down, and I think it looks really good. I'm gonna use my Maybelline contour palette. This shade for contour, it's a little bit, it's a warm contour shade, so I do find it like pulls like more of a warmer on the skin. I don't mind it that much, but it could be a little cooler because it almost has like a little bit of a pink kind of tinge to it. Not pink, but like orangish. So you can still see it. It's peeking through. It's not that bad, but it's still there, unfortunately. Just gonna kind of buff it out with my powder brush. And do you see how like the concealer kind of like stuck onto this little? I have like such a deep appreciation for people, makeup artists, who have to cover acne and acne scarring. and how amazingly well they do it, because even with just these two patches, like it's all I'm noticing. Like I'm looking and I'm seeing how like the concealer like caked up on this piece and how it's kind of like peeking through here, even though, you know, I use tons of different products on it. I don't know. Some people have such an amazing skill for makeup. It blows me away. Anyway, what's next? I think I'm going to do a little bit of blush and highlight. So I'll use the blush from the contour palette as well. So to highlight my brow bone, I'm going to go in with a little bit more of this Illuminator and just using a tiny bit. I'm just going to place it like right under the arch there. The one thing I will say about this Illuminator is that I wish it's very like silvery pink, and I wish it had a little bit more warmth or a little bit more gold to it, just because on my skin tone I think it would look a little bit better if it had a little bit more gold to it. But other than that, it's pretty good. On my cheekbones though, I'm just going to use the highlight shade from here as well, but I'm going to just apply with my finger because I'm more control that way. Kind of disappointing how it's like, it looks like it's breaking up here already, which is kind of frustrating, but I'm just gonna leave it and move on. Sorry if I seem kind of low energy today. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna try to psych myself up a little bit because I do want to film something else after this, so maybe I need coffee. I think I need coffee, or maybe a glass of wine. I don't know. It's 2 in the afternoon. Coffee's probably the way to go. Anyway, let me just set my face before I do my mascara, because I think it's looking pretty good. So, I picked up the Dewy finish. I had originally bought the matte, because I couldn't find the Dewy finish, and then I was like, no, I can't just use that. I have to use the Dewy finish, especially after I burn my face. So okay, mascara. Nothing's changed. I'm still using the Rocket. I think I always will. Unless someone can actually recommend one that is as good as the Rocket or better. Creature of habit. My lips today, I'm gonna do something, I don't know, I just feel like trying this or wearing this one, but this is the HD Revlon Ultra HD Matte Lip Color, and this is in the shade Addiction. It's a really pretty fuchsia colored shade, which I think will look really nice with the dark eye, which actually comes off a lot more, I know it's like a deep chocolate brown, but it really comes off a lot more gray on me, like a dark charcoal, which actually looks a lot better with hazel eyes anyway. So I don't mind it at all. So I'm just gonna use this one. Alright, so this is the makeup I came up with today. I think it looks really good. The nice thing about this lip color is that it kind of like loses a little bit of the intensity as it dries, so it doesn't stay like that bright fuchsia color. It kind of really kind of mellows down a bit. So my overall thoughts on what I ended up achieving today is that makeup is a lot harder to master than a lot of people might think. Covering scars, acne, imperfections, burns, whatever it might be, is a lot harder than you might think. So I don't know, I'm just admire people who have that skill, because this was my attempt at covering some pretty minor, you know, burns that I'm dealing with right now. And I mean, on camera, it does look a little bit better than in person, because I mean, I can still see this one. This one here, like the concealer got caked on it and it's just kind of like sitting there. I mean, makeup is hard. Makeup is a lot of work. And so, I don't know. This is what I managed to pull off today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe to my channel, hit that little notification bell if you want to get notified when I post again. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this more fuller coverage makeup look that I put together. I really do love this. So this, I don't know, these cream shadows are, you know, they take a little bit more time, but if you're careful and if you're good at the application, I think you can pull off some really cool looks with it without dealing with all the fallout and the mess and the shadows and the brushes and the blending and everything else that that you have to deal with sometimes. So anyway, yeah, let me know what you guys think. So I'll talk to you guys all again very soon. Bye.